stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. Welcome back, folks, to a freaky feel-good Friday edition of the off-season Always Irish show. Look at the phone lines. We got a handful of people that want to talk already. We don't always have that on an off-season call-in show. And so we're going to get to the callers quick, let people get on with their day. I want to listen. How do I want to say this? There are just some pieces of what the 2025 changes are going to be like in this program, in some key roles that have me a little on edge. And I think that's how I'm going to start this, just a little on edge. And I'm not saying anything's guaranteed to not work or not go well or be a problem or not be as good as last year or not be better than next year. I don't know. But there's just some moving parts here that are causing me a little anxiety. And the other thing I'm going to tell you that I'm open to, very open to. My job is to worry about Notre Dame. And whether I was getting paid for it or not, it's what I was going to do every single day of my life since I was like 12. It's just how I operate is to worry. The Kennedys are worriers, man. And maybe I'm overdoing it with some of the things that are rattling around in my head of like, I'm just not sure I'm 100% comfortable with like Ash, for example. There's no guarantee that's not going to work or go bad or whatever, but it's something of uncertainty that is on my list that I'm going to worry about till I see that I don't have to worry about it. And I didn't have to worry about it this time last year because you had Uncle Al and you just kind of knew everything was going to be fine. And now it's on my list of things to worry about. Here's the other one. I think Monday's whole show might be Mike Martin, the GM, and his presser and everything. Like, I set up this show before he spoke, and I think I'm gonna have some thoughts, and I'm gonna rewatch it and think about it over the weekend. And I think Mark's saying Ash is on the hot seat. Number one is, I wonder if the guy got Ash Wednesday. Every day's Ash Wednesday for this guy. So I wonder if he got his ashes. And so I just there's just some things that it's causing me a little anxiety. And I don't know if I'm overplaying it or not. And I don't want to be, I don't want to be over dramatic, but let's be honest. Every single thing about my brand and why it works is because I'm over dramatic. And so that's kind of the spot I woke up in this morning of like, gosh, I mean, you're just being overly dramatic about this and worrying about everything and critiquing everything so harshly and with a strict eye and all this stuff. And I do feel like it's fair that I reserve the right to have some anxiety about some of these moving parts until it's proven that they're fine. Not being negative, not counting on bad stuff happening. But I don't think it's outrageous for me to reserve the right to have some anxiety about some of these moving parts until I see that they're okay. And the other thing I need to be open to is you could end up in a better spot. Like, right? All that worry I have on the downside of what if this, what if that. There's also the reality that things could get better around this program from these moves. But that's not going to stop someone like me from having anxiety until I see that it's fine, you guys. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm not trying to be overly dramatic. It's just where I'm at. Tex ND said Ash needs an Always Irish do-rag. it would certainly help curry favor with me if you had an always Irish do-rag. Could you imagine if Ash went out there? I imagine Ash goes out there for the opening press conference with like a full nice suit, but just a do-rag on his head, just as the kicker. Like, I don't know, man. Oh, and you know what else it makes me think about? You guys, I always think about visor guys. Callers, I'm going to come right to you. Let's just get this going. You ever think about visor guys? There is a very, very small percentage of guys in America that can wear a visor. And John, you must have one big ulcer. My entire life's one big ulcer. You kidding me? Welcome in, everybody. The visor thing, man, I've been really thinking about it. There is only a certain small percentage of men in America that can wear a visor, and you're like, yeah, that looks right. Like, it's a very, very small percentage. And the funny part is, I think a lot of these guys know they're in that circle. There's a very small amount of people that can make a visor work if you're not like a pro golfer keeping the sun out of your eyes. It's the funniest thing to me to watch visor guys. It's a different life. Visor life is a different life, man. Kent Jackson's here. Well, it's the big slow. As always, welcome in, everybody. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it, subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications down there where you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish, or at Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to see my face, nobody in the world's going to blame you for that. How do you think I feel about it? The call-in lines, you know what it is. 312-988-15. You dialed up, tell Uncle Yanni boy, oh, you've heard and seen. Patreon.com/Always Irish. As soon as I get done with this, I'm going over with Goolsby, and we're going to break down some. He sent me a list at like 1 a.m. of a whole bunch of things rattling around in his head, and we're going to attack it all as soon as we're done here. It's going to be fun. Thanks to everybody who's over there. All right. Here's acid reflux Friday. Yeah, no kidding. Lane Kiffin. Here's what I'm going to tell you about Lane Kiffin, and then we'll go to the calls. That is the earliest we've ever done the calls. It'd be about 10 minutes. I can't believe it. We're off to the races now. Here's the deal with Lane Kiffin. I mean this sincerely. He is one of the few people I have totally flipped on in the landscape of college football. Early in his career, I looked at him as like a narcissistic Nepo baby who got these big time jobs because of who his dad was in the football community. I did not like how he presented himself. I did not like his attitude. I didn't like the way that he just kind of carried himself and acted and treated people. And sure, you go to USC, then I'm not going to probably like you because, USC, Notre Dame, all that kind of stuff. I got to tell you, I have completely flipped on him. Whatever his personality is now, it is healthy for the sport. Kind of a self-degradating, funny, open to stuff, like sarcastic on social media like a regular fan would be, trolling people. I honestly now think his personality is an important one in the landscape of college football, specifically in the SEC, because you got a lot of, it's football down in SEC land all the time, and serious football all the time. To see Lane lightening it up once in a while, having fun on Twitter, trolling people, like he's like open to trolling himself in some ways now. And I actually think that that's pretty healthy. And you know what it reminds me of? In a different lane, that's why people liked Mike Leach so much, because he was a college football coach who didn't have the personality of a common college football coach in a totally different way than Lane. But like, it reminds, these personalities I think are kind of important when you have some that stand out. And I gotta tell you, man, I flipped on Kiffin, and I think his personality is very, very healthy for the sport, especially in the SEC where it's so serious all the time, and you have Lane bucking that. I think it's good for the sport. Kent Jackson says, makes me think of Mike Leach. Yeah, dude, like his personality was just hilarious, and you don't know what you're going to get, and it's unpredictable, and he didn't take himself too seriously while being serious at the same time. There was in a different lane. I didn't even do that on purpose. I'm just saying that I enjoy Lane's personality now a great deal, especially on the internet. And so I admit he is one of the few people I've totally flipped on, and that does not usually happen to me. I hold grudges. I hold grudges. I have my reasons I don't like things, and then I stick to them. The guy earned me back by lightening up a little bit and kind of having a laugh at himself once in a while and having some fun. So I don't know, man. It's interesting. All right, listen. We have a group of good callers here already. I'm just going to go right to the calls. We'll see where you guys want to take it about any of this stuff. And then you know how it's going to go. The second I get to Florida, a whole bunch of crap's going to break. It's just the way let's just hope it's good news this time. But the history is we got another week and then I go to Florida. I'm just telling you, the history is every single time I go to Florida, something happens. Something happens. So let's just hope what it is this time is something good. But every time I go and I sit on that patio and yell and make the golfers upset, something happens in Notre Dame land. So we're going to see what it's going to be. All right. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. We're going to get to it early, 12 minutes in. That might be a record for me. Andrew Gilmore, what's going on? If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. Let's do it. What's up, Andrew? Good morning, brother.
Hey, what's up, man? It's been a long time. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a while, man. I'm good, Andrew. I would love to know what you think. It just kind of feels like we've been in neutral treading water here since the title game. And I don't know whether that was expected or what I expected. It's just like, I'm just kind of ready for what's coming next. I don't know if that makes sense to you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, no, I thanks for taking my call. I'm sorry if my audio isn't great. I'm on the road right now, but I wanted to touch on the GM, touch on Chad Bowden, but just a real quick point on your Lane Kiffin thing. I actually think a little differently on that. Like I totally understand why people like Lane Kiffin right now because of his online persona, and I totally understood why people liked Mike Leach. But I think in a weird way, it almost takes away from like how much respect people should have for him because Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin's made Ole Miss into like a tier 1 job, which is kind of amazing when you think about Ole Miss's success over the last 30 years. They've never ever made it to the SEC championship game, and we're almost always a stepping stone job in the SEC. And so Lane Kiffin's such a good coach that he's kind of made Ole Miss into a top job. And I think that's a testament to how good of a coach he is. So I almost think sometimes it's such a good job right now that people are trying to say, how does Ole Miss not win big games when they've never won big games? So, and I always felt that same way about Mike Leach because he turned Washington State, which was a laughing stock when he took it over. Same thing with Texas Tech, into winners, but people kind of walk away thinking he's just a funny guy. So that guy was a really hell of a good offensive coordinator and a great coach.
Yeah, I think
so that's my thought on.
I think you present a good point that if you get wrapped up in the online and the personality stuff and the stand-up stuff on the podium, sometimes that you will overlook the most important part, which is the on the field stuff. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Now, Andrew, you know how this goes though. In Notre Dame land, if you add somebody like that in charge, the second one thing didn't go right, everyone would hammer the guy. You need to get more serious about football. You know what I mean? It cuts both ways with that personality where you're with Mike Leach, why are you talking about Bigfoot when we just lost the game? You know what I'm saying? I could see it going the other way too. If you have that personality and things don't go right, people don't think you're taking it as serious as you should or something. I see that. But I think Lane's good for the sport, and I like seeing him mix it up in the SEC, man.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I think Marcus Freeman was in danger of that with I think his little movie spoof skits that he was doing was getting pretty old, especially coming off a Gator Bowl and a Tony the Tiger Bowl. But I think he can do as many spoofs as he wants if he, takes the team to the championship. So to your point, I agree. What I wanted to call in though is talk GM position. I found I watched a little bit of it's pretty interesting. But I thought what I'd bring up to you is how interesting the whole GM search was, because it seemed like for like a month, Marcus Freeman was so fixated on getting that guy Blanchard from Texas Tech. And although that guy did have like brief NFL experience with the Carolina Panthers, I mean, I don't think you could pick a more different candidate between Blanchard and Martin, the guy they ended up with. I mean, because Blanchard really, truly is hardcore college football and really, truly a regional college football guy. Like, even when he was with Matt Rule, that he cut his teeth Baylor football. That's like in the heart of Texas. Now he's in like the heart of Texas with Texas Tech, really only probably talking to Texas recruits. And then on the flip side, you got Mike Martin, who has no college football experience that I'm aware of. I think he's 20 plus years in the NFL, and he's going to be much more of a national type guy. I don't. Are you following with where I'm going? Like, it just seems like they're totally on opposite ends.
Yeah,
and I think that at least on paper, I think they ended up with the right guy, despite all the nice things people were saying about Blanchard.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I'm sure Mike's going to want to talk about this when we record, when this show's over. And I watched that presser in preparation of that yesterday. And Andrew, I was thinking the same thing. He was talking about being from the NFL model and having to learn more about the college recruiting process and all this stuff. And I had that thought too of like, man, this is a totally different route to get to this spot than with Blanchard, and a totally different model and way of thinking and the experience the guy has and what he's used to dealing with. And I just think it's really, really going to be an interesting experiment, and we got to get it cranked up, man. You got to find whoever the lead recruiter is going to be, hire that guy out and get this thing cranked up.
Well, that was my reservation with Martin, is that he literally has no college experience. But I think this kind of follows a similar model to what like Freeman is consistently doing. Like, he brings in Al Golden, defensive coordinator, who spent the last 10 plus years in the NFL. Controversially considered to be one of the most important coaches on the team, the training room weight coach guy. He resigns right before the season, and you're not sure where Freeman's going to go. He tried to get the Alabama weight coach, and then he goes to the NFL. Gets like not even really an NFL weight coach, like a real new age kind of weight coach guy, but like almost like beyond NFL thinking. And then he gets this general manager. So it's clear that if Freeman's vision for the future is that this is going to be much, much more like professional football. I do worry though in the short term. But I will admit that Freeman is a lot more shrewd than I ever gave him credit for, because like when I was listening to Tim Priester the other day, he mentioned that Freeman is still pursuing the Auburn recruiting guy, Watson. I don't know if that guy is totally rebuffed Notre Dame, but that guy's just old school retail recruiter. So I think that in the short term, Freeman's going to try to fill those spots with old school recruiters and let Martin build out, or take some time to build out a more NFL model as the game becomes more professional.
Yeah. I think these are
long-term vision for it.
I think these are astute observations. And the way I kind of look at it, when you're kind of changing the approach of how you're building this out, the way I look at it is opportunity and risk. Right. And like, we don't know how any of this is going to go yet. And I could see real high end upside opportunity here if this is all put together the right way. And there's a little different way to look at talent accumulation in Notre Dame. I'm totally open to that, but there is still some risk with some of this too. And I just think it's really, really an interesting dynamic and how this all comes together and how you find these people to join. And I don't know, Andrew, I'm always going to have anxiety though, because that's just what I do.
I mean, I'm just saying, I don't understand though, like, what you think it's risky because he doesn't have college experience? Is that where the risk comes
like
in?
Andrew, I'm sitting there watching the presser last night on YouTube, and the guy that we bring in to oversee all talent accumulation at our college is saying, "Yeah, I kind of need to learn about college recruiting a little bit." Like, I'm sorry, Andrew. It's like there's no. I'm not saying it isn't going to work, but it made me laugh when our guy brought in to run all the talent acquisition at this college is like, "Yeah, I'm going to have to learn about recruiting a little bit." Like, it's just like, okay, let's go.
Well, I guess where I come at it is, we're not what's an uninteresting kind of good football program. Maybe this is unfair. We're not Oklahoma or we're not Nebraska. I think that there are certain things about Notre Dame that sell itself. And so like why I think this is a good hire is that we need to be better at talent evaluation. You know what I mean? We just have to be better. And if players are to be up for, like, if we do have a big NIL war chest and players that we used to not be able to get are now more willing to come to Notre Dame, we got to get better at evaluating those people and getting on them quicker. And so this guy is not just like some front office lackey. He literally was every step of the way a different type of scout. And so I just think that I welcome that because, like, and I want to talk about Chad Bowden before I leave, but like you compare that to Chad Bowden, who is Chad Bowden? You know what I mean? Like, I think his first job was with Cincinnati. It's like that guy. I mean, that guy is compare Chad Bowden's resume to this guy in terms of just, understanding how to get players or how to evaluate players. I'll take this guy 10 times over Chad Bowden.
And you know what else, Andrew? The other thing is, man, I'm not the biggest NFL guy, but you had to live under a rock to not notice in the last 4 years how the Lions went from the laughingstock of the NFL to having like one of the best rosters and being very competitive. And this guy was a big part of all of that turnover in the Detroit program that kind of got things turned around. That's of interest to me. That is a note that I'm paying attention to because that's a big turnaround.
And also you don't, because like I remember there were people scoffing on message boards when a New York Jets executive was getting mentioned as potentially a candidate, and people were like, "Oh God, the Jets stink" and stuff like that. But like, you don't stick around in the NFL for 20 years if you don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? At some point, people are going to say this guy doesn't know what he's doing. You know what I mean? The NFL is the pinnacle of the sport, and that's why, like, I kind of give Ash a little bit of a reprieve because, like, you look at, like, it's now popular for people to say that, coaches want to leave the college ranks and go coach in the NFL because, it's not as many hours like that you have to put into with all the recruiting and all the pressure, having to re-recruit your team all over again year after year. But the one thing that the NFL is dangerous about is how much the turnover is. I mean, there is zero job security in the NFL. Like, you could say that college has tough job security. There's no doubt about it. But I think there's more security in college than there is in the NFL. And like for Chris Ash to be rehired by he started off in Jacksonville. That was a nightmare, not Chris Ash's fault. Ends up in Oakland again. Who would have thought that Josh McDaniels would get fired like that? Doesn't get retained, and then ends up still getting hired again in the NFL. To me, that shows that NFL people have respect for Chris Ash. I mean, he didn't flame out in the NFL. He kept getting rehired. So there's something to this guy.
Yeah.
So and then the same said about the GM. It's like he's got 20 plus years in the NFL. You have to respect that. He's got to know what he's doing. As compared to a guy like Chad Bowden, which I'll end on because I know you have other callers, but I just think it's funny because I was talking to a buddy of mine who pointed out on a USC podcast that the USC writers were being a little bit more transparent about Chad Bowden, in that Chad Bowden tries to tell the beat writers what to write about him. And I just find it so hilarious with Notre Dame fans because, I've always been sort of skeptical of Chad Bowden because I felt a lot of the credit that Chad Bowden got was in response to Marcus Freeman, the good guy, Brian Kelly, the bad guy. And Bowden was such associated with Marcus Freeman that he got a lot of good press, or he got a lot of good dealing from the fan base. The other thing, though, is I think Goolsby has alluded to this many times on Twitter, but like the amount of positive press he got from the ND beat reporters was ridiculous, and it was largely because Chad Bowden controlled information.
He's the info, and it taints the whole well of what's reality when there's that arrangement behind the scenes. But that's the business. Like, I understand that's the business, but it does muddy up the realities, right?
Exactly. Like, he never solved the wide receiver problem. Like, I just don't. I have never bought that. And I know a lot of your listeners hate when I say stuff like this, but I never bought that Notre Dame has been just transformationally better in terms of recruiting under Freeman than under Kelly. I think college football landscape has changed quite a bit. The SEC and the major teams have come back to the field quite a bit because of the portal. My compliment for Freeman, which has been a pleasant surprise, is that he's a much better head football coach, like in terms of just actually coaching than I would have ever thought he would be, especially based off his
So Andrew, that makes sense.
A lot more credit than he deserves. And we're going to find out about Bowden because Lincoln Riley's on the hot seat. And if that guy does not bring in the right talent, he's going to get exposed. Because I think SC people are a little fed up with Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, I think those are all really, really good points. And here's the other thing. This may surprise people a little bit, Andrew, especially given my reputation. I'm not that mad at all the stuff Chad's saying. But does it seem over the top a little bit? Yes, but it just sounds to me like a guy who's desperate to let the new team know he's on their side. And he wants all the media to like him and let the fan base know in this rivalry he's switching colors. And I just kind of take it as he's going way over the top to let them know he's one of them now. And it really doesn't offend me, or I don't feel like it's personal shots with animus. I just think he's trying real hard to fit in as the new kid in California. That's how it comes off to me, man.
Yeah, same here. And I think Sean Crawford, who's a former Notre Dame football player, and then even Tim Hyde at Blue and Gold, they both sort of said that, and I totally agree with that take. That he's not just on another team. He's
exactly.
He's on the number one rival.
Yep.
And it just I don't honestly. Every fans have always reacted this way. I grew up. I used to spend my summers in Boston. And I grew up a Red Sox fan, and I just remember when Johnny Damon signed with the New York Yankees, shaved his beard, and said the Yankees were the greatest team ever. He's saying that because the Yankees gave him 2 more years of guaranteed money. Of course he's going to say that. And I always got a kick out of fans being so mad about that. But what I really do love to see is the media sort of squirming because they don't know what to do about it. So, some are using it as clickbait, to say, "Oh, how dare Chad Bowden." Others are I've been praising Chad Bowden for years, so now I have to say that, oh no, Notre Dame is going to really struggle now to recruit Southern California players. Look at, and it's just almost giving Chad Bowden credit for the KVA recruitment and Madden Paramo recruitment, which is total nonsense. That was all Al Washington. So it's just funny to see the media reaction. But to your point, he's never. And then the last point on Chad Bowden is, he's a master manipulator because he learned from his dad. It's so weird that his dad never comes up. Jim Bowden was Theo Epstein before Theo Epstein. He was the 30-year-old hired to be general manager. And largely he was a media creation. He kind of planned out as a general manager, but he's really been much more successful in the media landscape. He was on ESPN for years and years and years, and he continues to be a media fixture. So he's learned how to manipulate the media from his dad.
It's really, really an interesting dynamic. And so we're going to see how it goes. There's a lot of changes here. Change brings opportunity and risk, and we're going to see how these things go. Andrew, I really appreciate the call, man. Safe driving wherever you're going. It's good to hear from you again on the off season. Why don't you get your butt over to the blue and gold game? You're the one person everybody, Andrew, at these tailgates, you're the one person, a bunch of people come up to me and go, hey, he's the guy that's in your ecosystem the most that none of us have met. We got to get you out of here for one of these.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely try to make it to the blue and gold game. And then just one final thought, and you don't have to, I'll take it off the air, but you don't have to answer it, obviously. But just one thought I would love for Goolsby to break down at some point is Steve Angeli that much better than Tyler Buckner? And I just think that could be an interesting question.
He's a Buckner guy.
I feel like Tyler Buckner gets Well, Buckner just gets treated so horribly now. It's like we forget that at one point he was Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman was so bought into Tyler Buckner that they made him the unquestioned starter. That's never happened to Angeli. I just think it's so surprising to me that we don't hear Tyler Buckner's name being brought up at all as a potential backup. And I would love to hear what Goolsby's take is on that. So,
yeah, it's interesting. All right, Andrew, thanks for touching base, buddy. Have a good Friday. Drive safe.
Hey, thanks for the time, John. Really appreciate it.
See you, buddy. Have a good. How much time you got, buddy? How much time you got, buddy? Eric, $5 holler 2025. No regression. That's the big task. That's kind of the theme of my notes here that it looks like I probably won't get to because we have callers. What's new? But it really does. It really, no regression. That's what I'm after. Look at this. Nikki Dean loves to be heard and seen. $5 holler. John, the wife, and I talked about me dressing up as Santa Claus for blue and gold because we missed each other at the IU game. Here's the thing. It may not be seasonal, but you'll be a lot warmer because you know damn well the second John sets up a tailgate, it can't just be 60 degrees and like partly sunny. It's going to be about 31 degrees with freezing sleet and a sideways breeze. Just wait. It's just the way it goes, man. I show up and I want to do something fun. It's going to be wind blowing sideways, sleet, you name it. Look at this. Always Irish Senior in the mix. Good morning, Always Irish people. Looking forward to blue and gold. Yeah, and thanks for being here, Pops. Look at this. I don't understand this. And then we'll go right back to the calls. Freeman said he wished he had went to ND, and John had no problems with that. Again, I charge Johnny as a hypocrite. I don't understand. Are you deaf? Are you deaf? 2 minutes ago. Calm down. 2 minutes ago when I was talking to Andrew, I just said, I don't hold it against Chad. He wants to show he's on their side now, and it makes total sense. How am I being a hypocrite? I literally just disagreed with all of the Notre Dame fans on Twitter that are ripping everything Chad's saying about how awesome USC and Lincoln Log Riley is. Literally 2 minutes ago, I just said, I understand what he's doing. What do you expect him to do? He has an obligation to show he's on the other side now, and that's just how this goes. What do you mean, hypocrite? I literally just said that. I literally just said I totally understand why he's doing it and don't think that it's like intentionally a shot at Notre Dame. Are you outside your mind? Schwinger, $10 holler. Has the screaming lady hit the portal? I don't know, man. Just wait until the Purdue game in between the first and second quarter, and she'll be yelling at you. She'll be yelling at you to cheer and encouraging the overweight student to take his shirt off and whip it around on the big screen. High-end production value, people. Unbelievable. Commander, you exist to raise my blood pressure. Son of a buck on a Friday. 559 on the line. Let's get him in and out and back to work. What's up, baby?
What's up, John? What you doing, my boy?
Hey, I got to tell you, man, it kind of warms my heart to hear from you, man. It's been a little while, and I got used to hearing from you, and it's good to see you, man.
Thank you, John. We're out here working, trying to build this data center for our company. So we're pretty working heavy, seriously. No days off, type of thing until May maybe. But I want to talk about Notre Dame football and our new GM. And y'all tripping over there because he's this and he's that. Does he have the moxie? Can he recruit? Look, my boys, this is football. This is Notre Dame. This is our life. This is where Notre Dame wanted to be, right? Well, handle it, my boys. Let Marcus Freeman do his thing, which he has. I told y'all don't be tripping on him. We've got a coach that loves the university and understands the university, and he's bringing coaches that understand the university. What else do you want? Now, Bowen or Chad Leprechaun bootleg over there talking all that shit about my coach. Oh, boy, you had it easy, boy. Who the hell do you think was selling Notre Dame and coming to Notre Dame? It wasn't because of you, my boy. The recruits don't give a two-rat talk about you. You're over there looking like a fool and trying to promulgate and all this and that about Notre Dame. Boy, you're lucky to be where you're at because of Notre Dame. Don't forget about that, my boy. Don't sit on the hand that fed you for a very long time and allowed you to get the money that you got. Boy, how in the hell do you say that Lincoln Riley or wherever the coach is from USC has a real recruiter and is a lead recruiter? Boy, I can't believe you disrespected my coach like that. I told you before. You talk about Notre Dame, you're talking about me. You talk about my coach, we got a personal problem, my boy. And we ain't going to allow that. And these Notre Dame fans are going to stay quiet. What you thinking, bro? You think this is back in the 1970s that we got to be good Samaritans and all this and that? No, my boy, conspiracy, all that, my boy. We have a mouth, and I got one with me. So check this out, darling. Come and see me at Notre Dame, and when you come, because you're going to come to South Bend, and we're going to whoop that ass, and we're going to make sure you put that tail in between your legs, my boy. We're going to make sure of that.
I miss you. I miss you, man. Yeah, does it feel good to get that one out, man? You got to get back in your groove. Yeah, you got to get back in your groove, man. I missed you. We got used to you around here, man. It just ain't the same without you.
Man, John, trust me, guys. I've been listening to you guys. I just been where we're at. We have a dead zone, and for some reason, I just had my Bluetooth on by an accident. And I heard I got a signal, so I was like, "Oh, John is on. I got to go in. I got a lot to say, my boy. I got a lot to say."
It's just, dude, it's just good to have your energy back on the morning show, man. It really is. Anything else on your mind? I don't want to keep you from work on a Friday.
John, listen, man, we should be looking about our future. And look, guys, I get it, y'all. Rah, because Angeli has been a good Samaritan, a good junior Boy Scout, and has really, been there for the university and all that. But you know what? This is football, boy. This ain't about, hey, let's be good to you because you've been good to us. I'm sorry, bro. Closed mouth don't feed nobody. If you got the monster and the talent, then great. You're going to play for Notre Dame. And if you don't, it's up to you what you do with it. We got Kiffin and we got Clark. We got to think about our future and our future only, all right? And Marcus Freeman ain't going to sit there around and play around with this future of the University of Notre Dame. We got something special going right now. We got something great going on right now. And you know what? Decisions are going to be made that none of us are going to like, but we're not there every single day with the coaches and looking at these guys play. I'm going to let you know right now. And Jay, goodbye. Clark, get ready to take the reins. And Buckner, you better be ready to go play quarterback, my boy, because you will be our backup quarterback. I'm letting you know right now, John. Buckner is going to be our backup quarterback with Kenny Mitchie. And if Kenny Mitchie leaves and Angeli leaves, I ain't tripping because we got a lot in the chamber and we got a lot to unlock and load up and go off. All right, because see you later, Coach.
Have a good one, man.
Right.
Dude, that guy, man, I miss that energy. I can't honestly say that I understand everything that's being said, but I just did, you know what I'm saying? It's the vibe that I like. I'm not acting like I understand all of it. It's just the vibe I like. I like that guy. I like his energy, man. I like his energy. Oh, you guys, I don't know what the deal is on a Friday. You guys are cranked up. Hypertension, Johnny. Yeah, you ain't kidding me. If you lived through the 30 years of Notre Dame football I lived through, you would have hypertension too if you weren't already dead. $10 holler from the beef. Is it true Chad left Notre Dame just before they poured the concrete in the new football facility because he was worried about Jimmy Hoffa type situation? Yeah, the guy goes from He's at Notre Dame, and the last cycle he was flirting with Michigan, and then this cycle he flirts with USC. I understand why people are like, dude, is this intentional? What is going on here? It's got to be everybody Notre Dame hates is where you're going. Here's the other thing. Because John is the next O-line coach, dude, you know what's great? Picture me on one of them sleds yelling at the O-line, and they're just wheeling my skeleton around on the sleds, pushing it all around South Bend, and I'm on the top yelling in my short bike shorts like an old school coach with my whistle. John is the next nutrition coach. I'm telling you, the grocery list, the grocery expenses around this program would be a lot less. Just give me some meat and some bread and some saltines. It's all I need, man. Okay? It's all I need. Let's, if you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. What else? I had something I was going to hit here. Look at this. Can we confirm WPP gave up Always Irish for Lent? Yes, he's just out. He's just gone. Like, I'm totally, listen, I totally respect duck meat. I don't know what it's quacktastic. I don't know what you want me to respond to duck meat. But I think I probably had it before. I don't know. But it's quacktastic. Nikki D. Tube socks with sandals. I'm not a sandal guy. Don't get me going on this. I don't care who you are. Nobody wants to see a guy's foot. No, nobody in the world wants to see dudes' hooves. I've ranted about this before. I'm not making it an always annoyed right now. I have too many callers. No one wants to see guys' feet. They're disgusting. They don't take care of themselves. That ashy patch of thick white skin crusting off the bottom. Your stupid knuckle hair. No one wants to see it. Guys should not wear sandals and expose their feet unless you're on a boat, you're in the water, or you're at a pool. Oh, John, it's really hot where I live. I don't care. I don't care. Wear shoes. No one wants to see your nasty hooves. Put them away. Yes, WPP gave me up, man. It's like, God bless you for doing your Lent thing and whatever you want to do, go for it. But man, you really got to hurt Johnny on the Lent. You know, he used to donate a lot. He was always here stirring it up. He dropped me for Lent. God bless the guy for holding to his convictions, though. I give him credit for that. I definitely give him credit for that. Oh, man, 415. What's going on a lively Friday? If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. What's going on, 415?
Good morning, John.
Dude, what is going on today? It just seems kind of like we're just a little, I don't know. Is it just Friday? Is it Friday because everybody's like excited? It just seems like we have a little more juice today, and I love it.
Yeah. People are fired up. I don't know what it is, but it's like all the planets aligned and we all got that energy and we're ready to rock and roll and get our weekend started.
Well, what's on your mind, my friend? Thanks for joining.
Well, with that, I just have a question for you. How much time you got, buddy? Because there is a lot. I could go any which way. I could go. There's been a lot of talk about the, well, first of all, the Judge John was fantastic, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, I really enjoyed the college football playoff expansion and the topic of that. There's a lot of talk about the conferences. And I heard somebody talking about on a different show about how Notre Dame needs to or probably will have to join a conference at some point.
Now, wait a second. Yep. Don't get ahead of yourself because that may be the next topic of Judge Johnny coming out this weekend.
Okay, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, you're leading me down the path. It's already recorded and scheduled. It'll come out this weekend, and that is literally the debate. So you're right on it.
Fantastic. So I got stuff on that, and then there's all these things about the NIL, and there was I read an article about the what did they call it? The estimated values of the college football programs. And where Notre Dame ranked and how much they actually are worth. and why it's such a drop in the bucket, really, when you look at the NIL and all these other different contracts and these different things that are coming through financially. So I just have a lot on my mind. And then obviously, the GM press conference last night, we could go there. It's really up to you, man. I'm all on all cylinders right now.
Yeah. What do you make of, let's do the GM thing. Do you have a quick thought on that? Like, what was your takeaway from it? It's just Andrew's right. It is a totally different approach than the other guy they were really, really interested in. And I think that is the most interesting part to me. These guys are coming at the same job, the two candidates that were serious about this, from totally opposite experiences and everything. And it's just interesting to me, coming at it a totally different way.
It is. So let's break this down a little bit. I have a lot of thoughts about him personally. And then I have some thoughts about Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame themselves and how they decided to go kind of a different way in a different personality scheme. So I believe because of the fact that this general manager position is so new and how we've talked so much about the college football landscape changing over the years. And really, realistically, I mean, just this last year and this last season and where we've been going in the last couple of months has been dramatically changing. And I believe that, Notre Dame and everybody else, really for that matter, as well as Marcus Freeman, are changing and adapting with that. And they're trying to figure out where everything fits. And so they might think that they want this, this person or that type of personality or whatever it might be. But then as they dive into it and as doors open and close, so to speak, different thoughts or different ideas come in, and then they say, okay, well, maybe we should actually go this route. So it's not something that we're fulfilling a position that has been there for the last, 4 or 5 decades. Like, this is brand new for everybody, especially at this level in college football. So I think that they're just learning on the go, as we all are. And that's why it's okay to switch gears and go with a different personality or a different, background or whatnot.
Yeah, and especially with the GM stuff, it's such a newer role in the college football space. And everyone's operation in their athletic programs a little different about how they operate, what they can do, what kind of money they have to play with, all this sort of stuff. It's such a new role, and not everybody has a GM yet and is at that level in their program. It's all like kind of a grand experiment, and whoever kind of guesses the right blend and gets it right is going to benefit from it. We'll see what happens, man. I don't know what to make, but he's coming at it a totally different way than where my mind was when Blanchard was the target. And we're going to see how it works. I definitely respect that experience in Detroit, though. Turn that around 4 years.
Yep. Yeah, he sure did. He sure did. And look at the people that are running that program and look at the type of personalities and human beings that they've put and surrounded themselves with on that team. And that will show that. So that shows success. I am personally, I'm not worried or concerned about the recruiting thing, about the lack thereof, or him saying that he needs to learn about it. The reason why is because this is a driven individual. This is somebody who has decided that this is their life. They believe in 3 things, really, and when you listen to him, you can hear the genuineness and the emotion behind it. He believes in his family. He believes in his faith, and he believes in football. And that's what he lives for. And so this man is going to dedicate himself to the game and to the sport and to the business. And that's what he talked about. He talked about the fact that they were in the development business and that recruiting will be priority number 1. And I don't know if you heard, but he also said he felt like they will go to the portal, but not live in the portal.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing when it comes to recruiting, because you're thinking to yourself, now he knows what this is going to be built upon. He knows that, yes, the game has changed as far as the portal, which is really our free agency. Okay. If you want to translate it over to the NFL, but he also understands that it's also the draft that builds the NFL. Well, it's recruiting that builds college football. and he is going to put forth his efforts into understanding and learning it. And again, let's just remember the team that's around him, the people that are surrounding him that have been a part of college football and the recruiting side.
And, I think that's going to be a big hire. That's going to be a very big hire for him, because he openly is admitting, while he has talent accumulation acquisition experience, it isn't in natural high school recruiting. It is going to be very, very important for him that his top couple lieutenants do have that experience, so that he could get the overall vision going and keep it on the rails and all that. He's going to need some people that know what they're doing, have that experience. It is important. And Notre Dame's not the place to try and learn how to navigate college football recruiting. It's too late for that. Like, you're at Notre Dame, it's already hard enough. He's going to have to make some really good lieutenant hires right underneath him. They do have that experience. Anything else, man? What else is on your mind here?
Well, yeah, just as far as Mike Martin, I do believe, listening to him, he came off genuine. He came off emotional. He seemed very humble to be at Notre Dame. And remember, this is a person who left the NFL to come to college football and take a position here. And it's not as if it was like Nick Saban leaving the Dolphins and coming back to college football to coach. This is different. This is something where he was at like this top echelon and of the NFL in terms of football, and decided to come to Notre Dame and to this institution. And he talked a lot about, like I said before, the development business, but he was also talking about family and how faith-oriented he is, and that he is basically not bigger than a position. He's not bigger than the school. He's not bigger than the sport, because he came from the NFL. And he was just very humble within that. And I think that goes a long way, because I truly feel that Marcus Freeman is building this team, albeit in our minds slowly, because it's like, okay, when is it going to happen? Because every single day we're waking up and thinking to ourselves, what's new? How is this going to be successful? And we're constantly, skeptical about it. But he is doing it year in and year out, moving pieces around that he can move around, as well as the pieces move themselves, like a coordinator going to the NFL or somewhere else. And he's building it the way he sees it. And the way he sees it is exactly how Andrew Gilmore talked about, which is the fact that it will be an NFL style. It's just, there's going to be different words for it, whether it's recruiting or draft, right? But it is going to be the NFL. Players are getting paid now. There's a lot more different money and revenue that's going to be shared. There's going to be, as we talked about conferences, we'll talk about that another day, but things are going to be getting split up. The next 5 years is going to be very interesting to see what happens come in 2031. And man, I'm telling you, like this is the long haul, John. This is one of those ones where when you're building a business, you are doing it for the long haul, and you're going to need some success now, no doubt about it. And we got that right off the bat. Within year 3, we're at the championship game. We won 3 playoff games. Fantastic. But in order to keep that success going, you have got to continuously build your product and your brand. And that's what Marcus Freeman is doing. And I think it's going to be fantastic. I really do. Now, the last thing I'll say about Martin, and same thing with Ash, and same thing with all these other guys. You can say all the right things, but it will come down to the product on the field. Same with Marcus Freeman. You got to keep building, and we got to keep seeing it on the field, because that will be, if you're looking at it from a business standpoint, that will be the end result of the income, of the revenue that we have built up, is by winning championships, which another thing, which I just have to say, he also talked about winning championships on and off the field. And that's building the individual as a human being going into society, which for me, I take very, personally. So I think that's great. Yeah, it's the way I look at this. It's opportunity and risk. And I don't know, man. It's a new way to think about doing all this. And it's a changing world very quickly. And I can't wait to see where it goes. I will say Martin just seems like, I totally see why Freeman and him are on the same page. He's got kind of a similar vibe, very well spoken, very well put together, very respectful, very family oriented, all that stuff. I even think
the guy seemed a little bit nervous to start that presser, a little bit getting into it. Like, he just came off really, really genuine. Now we got to see him immerse himself in this Notre Dame culture and get to business. Anything else, man?
Yeah, the last thing I'll just say is based upon that nervousness, John, that's a normal thing when somebody really wants something.
Yeah.
I've been on an interview panel. I've worked with a lot of firefighters in trying to get them hired and helping them with their interview skills, which is a big part in the process of it all. And part of that nervousness is because of the fact that they want to be successful. And that's where if he came in super cocky and the whole thing, you can read it a mile away. But the fact that he was sitting there and his voice was a little broken up and he wanted to be successful, and it was emotional and it was genuine.
Yeah.
And but he's not going to be like that in the office. He's going to be grinding. He's going to be getting after it. That's his type of personality.
Yeah, it was, man, this is all interesting. Change is the only constant, and the whole sport's changing very, very quickly. And you either need to get with it and get on board or get left behind. And I at least give Notre Dame credit for jumping on the front end of this GM trend and trying to get on board with this and figure it all out. It's going to be an interesting journey, man. And
yes, sir.
We're entering the middle part of this Freeman era. He's not a pup anymore, not a rookie anymore. It's time to crank this thing up and see where we could get it. Listen, man, I really hope you have a good weekend and the kids and everything out west. And I really appreciate you. You've been the all-star caller of the offseason, bro.
My man, John, you enjoy your weekend as well, and I will talk to you next week.
Have a good one, man. What a nice guy. He calls every show he's been calling in the offseason. He's got his little morning slot, if you will. I'll go right back to the calls. Kent. I watch Nikki Dean says, don't put any veggies on or veggie. Do you ask yourself in your mind, do you ever think there's been one moment in John's life where I've eaten a pizza with a mushroom or a fish or any sort of vegetable or whatever on my pizza? Are you out of your freaking skull? No, that ain't happening. Nothing in the world could beat a regular cheese pizza, man. Anything more than that, and you're asking for diabetes. I'm serious. You don't need anything else other than a cheese pizza to be happy. Kent, I watched Rudy the other night, and if that's really a true story, man, that's impressive and also makes me respect Notre Dame a tad bit more. To Angela, wear your last name proud. I did not cry. Here's the thing, Kent. I hope you're still watching. In the beginning of the movie, when they're all in the living room and they say, at the halftime of Indiana-Purdue, can we put the Indiana-Purdue game on? They say, there's only one team we watch in this house. That whole scene in the living room, Angela, as a little girl, is the little girl kneeling in front of the round table in the living room eating her soup. Brunette, little cute girl. They let all the family be in the movie and play different roles. And so next time you watch it, Kent, check out Angela as a little girl. I don't know how old she would have been, but she's the girl kneeling around that table in the living room during that discussion, eating the soup. And it just always warms my heart to see Angela, see Angela in the movie. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Phil says, I've been trying to convince John to put mushrooms on his pizza for you. If you expect me to eat a pizza with a mushroom on it, an hour later, I better be seeing leprechauns and unicorns and rainbows. Out of your mind. No, totally out of your mind. 815, what's going on? If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. What's going on, 815?
How's it going?
It's going well. What's the deal? What's going on?
I got in honor of the Always Annoyed coming back. I got 3 quick topics I want to throw at you.
All right.
Give me a quick 1 minute reaction.
Okay, I got my pen down. I need to write these down. Give me what you got, baby.
All right, 1 second. All right. Had to blow my nose really quick. Sorry.
I can relate.
First one.
This is my number one. People who chew with their mouth open.
Oh man. Come on. I mean, it's like you're an animal at the zoo, like a cow, close your mouth.
Okay. Number two, people who use the talk text on their phone, where they like use Siri or they talk into the phone to text instead of like typing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bad one too. I don't know how to work this thing. Write it out for me. Yeah, I'm with you on that. That's good.
All right, this one's kind of personal. You might not agree with this one, but sharing food. Like, for example, if we're out to dinner and we each order a meal and someone's like, oh, let me try a piece of your food and you can try a piece of my food. No. I ordered my food. You ordered your food. There's no sharing, no flipping meals. No.
Yeah, that's a good angle, man. That's a good angle. I don't know if that one's been on my register because I eat like a 4-year-old, so nobody wants to share my food. We have to consider that, right?
Yeah, but even if someone asks me like, "Oh, can I try a piece of your food?" No, you cannot. I ordered my food. You ordered your food. Don't be mad that I ordered something better than you.
Yeah, I like that.
And you're jealous of what I ordered.
I like that. Dude, I think we could make a whole thing just out of food-related stuff for Always Annoyed, if we're honest about it. Like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of meat on this bone, so to speak. I don't know. Those are good. Let me think about them and coordinate my plans. Let's transition a little bit. Any reaction to Martin's presser?
Yeah, so I watched it. The one thing I took away outside of, what other people were saying, how he was kind of, nervous up there messing with his shirt and whatnot. He repeated a lot, Ash, they repeated a lot of the same talking points. I wrote a couple of them down so I didn't forget. The first main thing was this is again in regards to both of them saying this. I wasn't looking at college, like this college game. I wasn't pursuing like this type of job. That ND reached out, and they both, including Sider on this last one, they felt the connections and like the closeliness of like the people here.
Yeah. It's and you know what, man?
When you hear the same thing,
yep, I was gonna say,
people, yeah, I don't know if that's kind of planted in them to say that. Yeah, I don't know. I raised a little red flag when I heard 3 people say the exact same thing.
Okay, I think there's a charitable interpretation of this, and then there's the corporate PR interpretation of this. The charitable interpretation of this is it is genuine that when these guys get to Notre Dame, they feel what we felt our whole lives and why it's different and why it's special. Now, there's nothing quite like the vibe of Notre Dame and that campus and all that goes into it. And then the PR answer is, here's our bullet points. Make sure you guys hit them so we're still all on the same track. Like, right? Like, maybe it's both. Maybe it's both. I don't know. But like, there's 2 ways that cuts.
Yeah, I do think I guess my takeaway is I do think the PR people were like, hey, make sure you bring this up.
Yeah.
And also, I put it in chat. I don't know if you saw it, but he called John Bryce like JB. And isn't John Bryce the guy who breaks all the contracts?
Yep.
Like I assume he had some discussions, or his agent had discussions with him before. So that like wasn't the first time he met him.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've talked about John Bryce before, and I've said that in our media niche, he really stands out because he's in his own lane of like sourcing contract negotiations, contract information, behind the scenes, how that stuff gets done, numbers, years for a contract, all candidates that are interviewing for stuff. He's got a unique source list or a way to get information that nobody else really has. And that's why I value him in this niche, because he goes about it a different way and has different sourcing and information I don't see anybody else being early on. So I like his contribution to the niche.
Yeah, I don't think that was the first time, because he was like, "Oh, it was nice to meet everybody," for the first time. I don't think that's the first time he talked to them.
Yeah.
Because you don't call someone by their initials the first time you meet them.
Yeah.
Especially at like a professional setting like that. I think that kind of slipped out.
Yeah. I think
I don't know
it's
if anyone else noticed that, but I did.
Yeah. It's that is really interesting. So I don't know, man. It's just an interesting dynamic, and we're gonna see Martin Ayers to fill out those couple key top recruiting roles right underneath him on the hierarchy chart. And those got to be really strong hires. And I don't know, man, I'm open to see where this is going. The other thing we need to keep reminding ourselves is Chad didn't have Notre Dame recruiting near where I wanted it. Like, I'm not going to cry over the guy leaving when you lost all your top rated guys out of every class and weren't in the top 10 every year. Sorry, I don't have tears for that.
Yeah, I like having a guy from the NFL. And one thing he did say, and I want to talk about spring ball really quickly. One thing I forgot who asked it, but someone asked about like positional value, kind of like the NFL. How like, for example, the NFL, you pay your quarterback, you pay the receivers, you pay the DN, like the high value position. And he kind of said like he kind of not thrown away that comment, whoever asked that, but it was like, oh, we don't really have like a huge positional value. I kind of disagree with that. I love the NFL model of they have like their 5 positions that are like, you have to have a stud at that position, and then you can kind of fill in the
okay.
With
now
like,
wait, you're pulling out little things that he said that stood out to you, and I want to ask you if this registered to you too. And I honestly don't know the answer to this question. He was talking about there's going to be like, we look at it as a cap when the automatic payment thing comes in, the revenue sharing automatic. He's like, we look at that kind of like our salary cap. But when I hear that, I think of salary cap as an NFL model where everybody's getting paid different amounts depending on where you are in the hierarchy and your positional importance, like you said. Is that what it's going to be? Or is everybody on scholarship going to get an equal amount out of that pie that has to be paid off? How is this going to work? When he said it reminds me of the NFL cap, well, that's not distributed equally. So how is this going to be when that revenue model kicks in where everybody's got to pay the rev share or whatever?
I assume it's not going to be even. My assumption would be they do it kind of like the NFL where there's like the minimum. So like, your freshmen, who haven't played, or like your 3-star freshmen who, probably are going to redshirt.
Yeah.
They get like a base of, and then your players who are like your star players like Love and, the starters, I'm assuming they're going to get more. Like that's just like, you can't justify paying the starters and like the freshmen who redshirt the same amount. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's this is all a new age calculation and new age considerations and a new way to think about all this. It's really, really interesting to see how fast this sport is changing and the model for developing and finding and locating and accumulating and shedding talent and everything you got to do. It's going to be really, really interesting. So I don't know, man. All I know is I need to see you at the Blue and Gold. That's all I know.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it.
Boo!
It's hard, dude. I gotta get a flight up there, and then I know. Find a ride from Midway or rent a car.
Yeah, that's tough. For a spring game, that is asking for a lot. And the other problem with it is you have no guarantees of the weather. Like, you're gonna do all that and come in here and it's gonna be miserable. Like I totally understand, man. I'm just kind of giving you a hard time.
All right. And then the last thing I just wanted to touch on spring ball really quickly. One of the people that no one really kind of talking about, like, I guess looking for, like, what they're going to try to see out of, like, what his production and whatnot is the tight end from Arkansas, because he's number 2 right now on the depth chart. So he's going to be getting a ton of the 1s and 2s reps. So I wonder if he, like, what is he going to turn into? Because he's going to get a lot of, reps. So he's going to get some good playing time because Flanagan tore his Achilles. He ain't going to be back maybe even if this year, if not the end of the year.
Yeah.
I don't think Jack Larson will play. And then James Flanagan, I like him, so he might jump Larson and be the 3. But it's like Raritan and then the Arkansas guy. So I wonder if they might look at the portal again after spring and see if they can add one more, either at tight end or if you think there's any other positions they might even glance at to see if they can add a guy or two.
Yeah, it's going to be, man, I don't know what I've been thinking of that too. What is Notre Dame going to look at when that portal opens, right after spring ball, and what this is going to be like and what they're going to target and who's out there and whatever. And then that's the first time you're really going to get a chance to see the new operation, start looking at that project. I'm very interested to see how it goes.
Yeah. And everything with the tight end from Arkansas, he's not really a blocker. He's more like he seems like a guy who just runs straight. So Raritan kind of he's okay at blocking. I mean, we saw the film. He had some misses. He had some blocks. He's kind of here and there. Flanagan was a good blocker. He's out. And then the other two, again, we have no idea. So I don't know how much the tight end room is even going to play at this point, because they don't really, what I'm trying to say? They're not going to be running two tight ends running inside zone blocking.
Yeah.
That's just not their two skill sets.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to try to find another guy who can play tight end just to block, or if, and also Kevin Bauman. I don't know what's going on with him. He's injury prone. I don't know. I don't think he's going to play.
Man, there's a lot to watch, and spring's going to be very, very interesting for many, many reasons, man. I can't wait to get into it. I don't blame you for not coming for it. And hopefully you can make it to the real game tailgate come next fall. How about that?
Well, we'll end on that. Is it going to be Purdue? Because I think the only game I can make is NC State.
Yeah,
I know the schedule's all jacked up because of the big games early with A&M, and I think Boise is not going to be a good game to do it either.
I don't know. I don't think we finalized it yet. I know Purdue's an option a lot of people want as well, but Pat can't make it for that day. So I got to make a decision. Usually I get a feel for it around blue and gold and ask some people what works for them, and then we'll make a decision. But Purdue is the one most people want. It's just bad for Pat. So we're going to have to figure something out, man. Hey, thanks for being here on a Friday. Enjoy your weekend, bro.
You got it too. You have a good weekend.
Have
too.
a good one. Yeah. Where's Big Mike Goolsby been? I don't know. I've been talking to him. We've been doing Patreon all the time. Rick, $20 holler, enjoying basketball and baseball, but pumped for college football. Go Irish till they play my Aggies. Hey, Rick, it's really good to hear from you, brother. It's been a while. Hey, my main man Martinez, I'll get you in and out on your minute. Do your minute or two hit, and we'll let you go on your way. We'll do that next. Yeah, Rick, it's really good to see you, man. And here's the other thing. I see a bunch of these college football YouTube channels that are SEC channels, and now they hit the baseball and the basketball really, really hard. I'm kind of jealous of that. I don't have that, man. I don't have that. Like, Notre Dame basketball is bad. There is no reason for me to talk about it or invest in it or anything. I'm not doing it. And I don't mean this negatively. Baseball was my first love growing up. There is not the juice of college baseball at Notre Dame like it is in the SEC. You could literally have YouTube post-game call-in shows in the SEC after baseball games. That's how big the culture is down south with baseball. We just don't have that, man. We just don't have it. So I'm jealous. Good for those channels that football ends, and instead of just like waiting for football again, they have these other sports that people are interested in. I just, man, I would not be welcomed there. Let's just say that. I would not be welcomed there. That is my respectful response, and that's fine. People are talking about, here's number one. John likes his pizza with no cheese or no sauce. I will swear by this. I will 100% swear by this. 100%. The quickest way to ruin a pizza is too much red sauce. Too much red sauce is the number one fastest way to ruin a pizza. It drowns out the flavor of everything else, the bread, the cheese, whatever, sausage, pepperoni. even I'll eat a sausage or pepperoni pizza and cheese. You know, I do cheese. If I'm feeling freaky, I'll get a pepperoni. You know what I mean? Nothing can ruin a pizza more than too much red sauce. It literally, it's such a strong tomato taste. It literally overpowers everything else. And you know what? You know what drives me nuts? You ever like bite into the pizza and there's like a little cushion or something, and then there go. It looks like you got shot and a bunch of red stuff shoots out. I hate it. Too much red sauce ruins everything. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, my mom is from Italian and we put the pizza sauce in the pizza. I don't care. Too much red sauce is the quickest way to ruin a pizza. Okay? Hate it, man. You ever bite into that and then there goes a whole wad of red sauce all over. Consistency. I need consistency. Also, there's a debate going on about what is easier to get into Chicago and over to South Bend. It is Midway, but for like major reason. This isn't even a debate to me. If you go into O'Hare in the northwest side of the whole Chicago area, not only are you dealing with you're dealing with that huge airport and all that comes with that huge cluster, but then you got to drive all the way south through all of the city of Chicago, around the lake to get to the Skyway, to get to the toll road, to get to South Bend. You're adding about 2.5 hours to your trip. If you got bad traffic, good luck. Getting from the northwest where O'Hare is all the way south through the city to the Skyway, good luck. Good luck. So that's number one, man. Like, just that you're eliminating all of that, getting from north to south in the city. And then people are saying, like, Midway's kind of shady or whatever, but it kind of is, but like, it is what it is. And I just like that it's a smaller airport. It's just less. You just got to take it for what it is. It ain't luxury. You just want to get in and get out. But the Midway, it isn't that bad. I don't want to get shot. It's not that bad, Burks. Come on, man. It's not that bad. You got to keep your head on a swivel on Cicero, but like, it isn't that bad. And then you go to Midway, 2 minutes you drive and you can hit that highway. You're on that Skyway and you're out. So I don't know, man. It isn't luxurious, but I never did think an airport was meant to be luxurious unless you have all that money and you could go into one of them secret clubs where you don't have to be with the regular people. You get to wine and dine and the Sky Club or whatever. Yeah, good for you. John once again hates crowds, everybody. I hate all the crowds there are unless they're mine. I mean that. I don't like people. I don't like crowds. I don't like the public. I like my people and my crowds. That's about it. Life's too short. I don't have the patience to deal with everybody being an idiot in society and not knowing how to act. Okay? Son of a buck. Mark with glasses. What's going on, baby? What up?
Oh, I thought you were going to Renee. What's going on?
I forgot about that and messed it up. What's up, Renee? I got you. I got you next, dog. I totally forgot about it. Got mad about the airport and the cheese pizza, and then I hit the button. Martinez, hold on. I'm coming to you next. What's up?
Just sitting here. I'm trying to remember where I was going to start. You know, a little over a week ago, I called in about my Kroger rant. I don't know if you saw this week, but the CEO resigned.
I did see that.
Anybody connect the dots on that?
I thought of you because it said it was an undisclosed personal conduct issue, and it kind of made me think that he was rude to you in that email response. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to take full credit, but I'm thinking I blew the lid off this whole thing.
Yeah, you exposed it. But I do think it's interesting. All the articles I read, they never said what the personal conduct issue was. They just said that's the issue. So you could use your imagination there, Mark.
Yeah, I'm gonna chalk that up as a win. And
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because my wife's laughing at me because I've already moved on to another off-season project. Now I'm at war with Little Debbie, but that's a whole nother story.
Oh man. Yeah. The here's the problem I have with Little Debbie and a Hostess and all of those pastry type, whatever it is. Since the time we were kids, Mark, the quality of all of the food has gone down. It's all preservatives. Nothing's as fresh as it used to be. The ingredients are garbage. They're all just made to last on it. They're all made to last on a shelf for 10 years. That goes for Hostess, Little Debbie, all of them. It's very unfortunate. It's not okay. It's just not okay.
Yeah, I used to really like, they used to have these little pecan pies, and they're in like little aluminum tinfoil tins. So, yeah, real quick on this. So, like, Little Debbie, I keep seeing online these, they're like the Nutty Buddy cream pies.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing them online. They're not in any of the stores. They're on the website, but they don't sell them on the website. Then they have this, like, snack finder where you can look for them in a 50-mile radius. I can't find them anywhere, so I'm on a mission for that.
Snack finder.
I'm not
a snack. Am I a bad guy if I judge somebody who goes to the snack finder website, Mark? I feel like that it's something that I would not approve of.
It's on the Little Debbie website. It's actual snack finder tool. And I've seen these things, and like I'm bound determined to get them. And I'm not handling the off season very well, obviously. So I'm kind of losing it over here. But
I gotta tell you, Mark, let's tease a little bit. Mark's got a little something to add some flair to the Always Irish spring game tailgate. And Johnny Boy's got a little something special to add a little flair to the Always Irish spring game tailgate. We got something cooked up for you guys, people. Stay tuned. Be there. Be square.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going up another notch.
Yeah.
But I had to call it. I should have called in sooner. I can't take it anymore. I should have said something sooner. But I'll state the obvious. I hate Ohio State more than anything in this world.
That's healthy. That's
every
good. That's good.
Every time they beat us, it's worse than the previous time. The fans mock us. They sent you chocolates. And we need to get those chocolates out of your house ASAP. I don't know if
I'm using them.
Burn them in a fire pit.
I'm using them as a prop for like anything bad or anything I don't like. I just put the box up on the screen. It's still in the original wrapping. There's no way I'm going to open them and eat them. It's poison. It's asking for problems. I'm just not doing it.
With our Ohio State problem and the curse that we have, I don't like the idea of those being in your house. And God forbid your daughter finds them. You walk in the room and she's got that gray and scarlet box opened up and she's eating those Buckeyes and that dumb fight songs playing, heaven forbid.
Yeah. I don't like it at all. You're right. That is dangerous. Yeah, I don't want her to be tainted in the mind. You know what I mean? You eat those and I'm afraid of what's going to happen.
You got to destroy them or get those out of your house. And then the Mike Martin press conference, I think we're reading too much into everything. I think it was fine. He's not doing these regularly. I think he kind of checked all the boxes and what he was saying. I don't think you can read too much into it.
Yeah, isn't that just like natural though? Especially when you're in the middle of the off season and you have an opportunity like this. I think it's natural to kind of overanalyze every little thing said, the tone of everything, what was said, what wasn't said.
Yeah,
I think it's really easy to do that, and my personality lends myself to overanalyzing all this Notre Dame stuff too. I think it was fine. Seems like a really classy, nice guy, family guy. It's just, I think one takeaway is, while he has a lot of talent acquisition experience, it isn't in necessarily direct line high school recruiting. It's going to be very important for him to hire a couple top lieutenants right under him that do have that experience that are ready to hit the ground running. I think that would be a good blend, but he needs some guys that know how that goes.
Yeah, I liked everything he said. I'm not too worried about his delivery. And then, like, I know he was asked about it in the press conference, and I've been trying to read about it and understand it better with the April 7th ruling coming up. And unless I'm not understanding it correctly, it sounds like on some of the articles, it's saying that the payments have to be like proportionately distributed between men's and women's sports. So the 21 million is throughout all of sports.
But is it in it? But if it, man, that's tough. Like an equal distribution of that money when you're like a non-revenue generating sport. You're a golfer, like you're a golfer or something, and you're getting the same money as a Notre Dame quarterback. It just seems a little wild to me. But what do I know? I don't know. But is it legal? I don't know how this works.
Well, then I saw like another article that said, like, oddly enough, it had Texas Tech as an example, and it had them doing 74% football, men's basketball was 17%, women's basketball was 2%, 2%. So it's like more. But the other one was saying that there's like a Title IX attachment to it. So I don't. It remains to be seen. I'm reading it and trying to understand it, but obviously, maybe I'm not even smart enough to understand it.
Yeah, me
we
neither.
Might need to get good on it, but
yeah, me neither.
And then the same thing with with the rally stuff. Like I try to read up on that, understand it, and it's like, good luck figuring it out. It's like the only thing you can find is like they connect players to money and connect money to players. Other than that, it's like everybody's just assuming things. There's no information on how any of this works or anything. So
it's a changing world, man. It's a changing world. I guess the thing that I'm glad for is at least Notre Dame is trying to be in the mix with all the modern way to do things and getting a GM and doing all this, and they're trying to stay up with it all. It's just it's going to be really interesting to see how this all shakes out. I don't know what to expect.
And I don't know, maybe one of Goolsby's connections or something. If anybody like has a better understanding of this, that would be willing to like come on in like a public space and like tell us what the hell. We have a better understanding. I just feel like everybody just assumes because nobody knows. And then with the changes that are coming in April, then it's going to be a whole new set of rules.
Yeah. It's a lot to keep up with, man. I just want to see some good football. It's just a lot to keep up with.
Yeah. And all I do know is the tailgate's going to be lit. And thanks for taking my call.
Anything else on the way out, Mark?
No, of course. I don't have anything when you ask. No, that's all I got.
I got you. All right. I'll talk to you offline, Mark. I love you. And I can't wait to do our reveals at the Blue and Gold game of our new promotional schemes we've both come up with. I can't wait. We'll leave the folks hanging and guessing. How about that? How about that? Meet me outside tailgate. How about that? See you, Mark.
All right,
my main man, Martinez. We're getting the double dose. We got Lewis and Martinez. What up, baby?
Hey, what's up, brother? Hey, let me tell you something. It's going to be a little loud, so I'm doing masonry again.
Okay.
Hey, Johnny, for the last year and a half, every lifetime time for Renee Martinez, the last year and a half, I'm not living up to God's will, man. Doing a little too much partying, man. Been sober for 16 days. God's good, man. So if I sound a little bit better, man, praise God. Anyway, so I want to tell you guys, for whoever I didn't say the best things to, I apologize, but real quick, man. Marcus Freeman is building what America once was, what Frank Leahy once was God, country, Notre Dame. Hey, when country calls, right, dude, when country calls, we give things up and go to duty, right? That's what he did. He went to go serve in World War II, man. And that's why he brought in that Martin guy. I didn't listen to the questions he was asked, but I listened to his introduction. And this dude is embodying everything Notre Dame is, man. God, country, Notre Dame. I'm sorry about the noise, Johnny. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're okay. It's a little low, but it's better than nothing, man. Just glad to hear from you.
You know what, Johnny, man, and everything's gonna be good. And we all love Notre Dame, but the thing is, we have to stop looking for what's wrong and continue to focus on what he's doing right and positive. Because, like I say, in every play of a football game, there's a hold. There's a hold. There's a missed block. There's something you can pick out wrong on every play. You know, and one thing that Pete Carroll did, and this is what I know when he went to coach the Seahawks, he went after young men. That's why he was able to that had families, that knew that they needed a paycheck, that he knew he could depend on. Hey, if I don't come to work, if I get into that NFL, fame lifestyle, then I can't feed my kids, I can't feed my family, and that's what helped them build that program. And so where in this day and age where everybody's just going for the money and NIL and in college, Marcus is like, hey, this is what you want to be after football's over, a family man, and what once was America, man. And so I'm really proud, I'm really happy, I'm really excited to see what's coming forward, man. I'm really happy to get on with you guys, man, and I can't begin to tell you how happy I am, man, and how blessed all of us as fans are going to be, man, moving forward with this program, man.
I really like the optimism here about the future of the program and trying to modernize with the modern times and all the large scale changes around and within the sport. And there's a lot of opportunity there. And it seems like Notre Dame genuinely wants to be on the front wave of all these changes.
Yeah, they do. Hey, Johnny, it's loud. I'm back, man. Hey, man, I thank you for getting me in, bro.
Oh, no.
I love you. I just wanted to call in and
Renee, hey, man,
take,
listen, it means the world to me that even when you're busy and you're working, you're trying to connect with our group, man. That's a lot of effort, and I genuinely appreciate that from you. God bless you, man. Thank you very much.
Hey, God bless you, man. God bless the chat, man. And onward, Notre Dame, baby. I love you.
There you go. Have a good one, man. Dude, this dude's got a heavy-duty torque wrench. Remind me of Rambo out there. That's really fun to do. It's really fun. Tex ND, ask me outside. How about that? You want to know what I'm... Here's an always annoyed. It pisses me off that little girl, the catch me outside girl, is a multi-millionaire now. It pisses me off. The only reason anybody knows who she is she was on Dr. Phil being an ungrateful, entitled little snotty brat on daytime TV. That's the only reason she's famous at all, is for being a disrespectful kid with no respect for anybody. And now she's a multimillionaire and gets rewarded for it, while somebody like me yells into a camera in their basement at 40 years old. Pisses me off when the wrong people get rewarded for the wrong reasons in this country. Catch me outside. How about that? Put your clothes on. I'm sick of that girl. Pisses me off. Of all the people who don't deserve that kind of national attention, she's number one. Walter, how's this for an always annoyed? Does anybody blanking shower anymore? I mean, damn, I work retail. There needs to be a short shower before you shop policy. Forget that. Forget that. I'm telling you. What about Hawk Tua? At least Hawk, you cannot say it's okay what she did with the crypto scam, pulling the rug out on everybody. But at least the Hawk Tua girl had a pleasant vibe about her. That's the difference, Nick. That's the difference. The Hawk Tua girl had an upbeat, kind of perky, cute personality and the little accent, and she just seemed genuinely like a girl you would have fun hanging out with, not for Hawk Tua only reasons, but like generally. That's a totally different vibe than catch me outside. How about that? Ugh. Anyways, the thing about people showering, I got to tell you this. Society, and I know Mike agrees with this too, Goolsby. Society clearly went downhill when we started deciding it was acceptable that you could wear pajamas out into public. I swear to God, it's a real thing. I don't understand how people just roll out of bed. You're in your rusty, crusty pajamas and you're out in society. Put an outfit on. Put an outfit on. People walking around grimy and dirty and in their stupid pajamas. (618) What's going on? Happy Friday.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, man, I don't know what got into this show today, man, but there's a lot of energy, and I like it on a Friday. What's on your mind, bro?
Man, nothing much, man. I'm just happy that, man, spring practice is coming here. Let's get this quarterback situation situated.
All
man.
right. Now, wait, that's number one. If I forced you to put money on it, who do you think's going to end up being Notre Dame's starting quarterback winning this battle?
And if I had to put money on it right now, I'm going with Clark.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. I think that is a common sentiment, but like, I don't know if I'm not sure about it. I have no idea how it's going to go, man. Are they going to make Angeli the number one because he has a little experience and everybody's got to catch him? And what does that look like? Or is it truly an open competition? I have no idea what to expect. I don't know.
Man, I don't think that they got confidence in their jelly, man. I mean, if they did, man, he would have started last year or the year before. I just don't think they got the confidence in their jelly. I just think they look at him as a good backup quarterback, man.
Yeah, it's and he really is a high quality backup. Like and a loyal Notre Dame son, by the way. And I think that's why Notre Dame fans respect him a lot. He had opportunities to leave when they overpassed him and brought in 2 transfer guys on 1-year deals, and he stayed the course at Notre Dame, and everybody respects that.
Yeah, but man, I'm this general manager situation, man. I guess I didn't get a chance to see it, but I read clips of it, man. But hopefully, man, we can shut up old Cali Chad, man, for once, man.
Cali Chad, baby. Hang 10, bro. He's got the surfboard out. He's living LA, living with the Hollywood freaks. He's an LA boy now.
Yeah, man. And then, my thing is, what you gonna do when he did the same thing at Notre Dame, where he get all these freaks to commit, and then in the end, they all just flip on it.
Yep. We're going to see. And that is something Notre Dame, I'm glad you brought it up. That is an issue Notre Dame's really got to figure out how to prevent moving forward, is not being in the position where you're left at the altar and you get used and abused for the people to leverage a Notre Dame commitment for more NIL money and then dip at the last minute. It's a reoccurring problem in the Freeman era, and they got to figure it out and stop it.
Yeah, man. I think it was more so to do with Cali Chad, man. I'm going to blame that on Cali Chad, man.
Hang 10, bro. Oh, Lincoln Riley's the best recruiter I've ever seen. Whatever, man. We get it. Chad, we get it. I don't blame you. You like your new job. You like the LA weather. You probably like the scenery on the beach. I totally understand it. It's just, I'm not crying over it because that recruiting operation is nowhere near where I wanted it to be under Freeman, under Chad. He could go to Cali and do whatever, man. Fine.
Yeah, and I just hope this defense stay the same, man, because I seen bad things about Chris Ash, but Notre Dame fans got to remember, man. When we brought in Al Golden, we were like, oh Lord, he hasn't been a defensive coordinator in this amount of time, man, and then all of a sudden Freeman bring him in, and then the defense is freakish over the last few years, man. So hopefully Chris Ash won't fall off with none. And, we still got Mike Mickens back there coaching the secondary. We got the linebackers coach. We should be okay. And if Washington could ever recruit, man, he do a good job of coaching them up. He just can't recruit.
Yeah, it's this is gonna be really interesting, man. There's just so many changes here and so many little shifts in philosophy and approach and the personnel. And you wonder whether it's going to be for the better or for the worse. And I don't have the answer to that, but all of this change and all this stuff, it brings opportunity and risk. And it is on Notre Dame to make all of this new age football stuff work for them. The way you build rosters, the way you pay out money, whatever it needs, the recruiting, things need to be tweaked here, man. Freeman's got a better sense now of what he needs and what works and what doesn't work. He's not the new guy learning on the fly. It's time to recalibrate this for the beginning and the middle portion of the Freeman era.
Yeah, man, we definitely need to do a little bit better job of that. The two positions that hurt the most in recruiting is wide receiver and defensive line, man. We can't get none of the studs for wide receiver. We can't get no studs for for defensive linemen. Maybe this cycle it'll be a little bit better for the 26 cycle.
Yeah, it's man, and listen, I'm open. There is a little recruiting frustration right now. It feels like you've been stuck in neutral. But I'm open to the idea that you don't have all your people in there yet, and Martin isn't situated. It doesn't have all of his guys at that. Fine, but like once that happens, I need to see this thing cook.
Yep, I need to see it cooking, man. I'm hoping that we go 12-0 this year, man. And cruise our way through the playoffs.
Hey,
man.
I got to give you credit, though. All last summer, you were calling this show, and everybody gave you a hard time because you were the one saying, relax, John, we're going to make the playoff. You were on that message all through the summer, and then you ended up being right. I got to give you credit, 618.
Yeah, not only did we make the playoffs, we went to the championship.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to build on top of that, man. The defense going to be freakish again this year. You know, and watch what I tell you, man. Christian Gray going to be he going to have a bounce back here, man.
There you go. Now you're talking. I like it. What do you make of the schedule? It's very, very front loaded. Miami, A&M, Purdue, Arkansas, Boise, NC State, USC. All of your big needle moving games are in the front half of the schedule. What do you make of that?
Everybody on that schedule except maybe, I mean, because you got to look at Arkansas, man. They like a low tier to their middle of the pack to low tier SEC team. I think we beat them. We beat Boise. They go, man. They were just about one player last year, and then again they could, you know, it could make their team better that he gone. You know, that Ashton Genty is gone. So, but the one game that I'm really worried about is the A&M game.
Yeah, and if you're worried about the A&M game, you also have to bake in worry about what happens before it, right? Think of the pressure on the A&M game if you were to lose to Miami week 1. The pressure on that A&M game ramps up even more than it already is, or if you beat Miami. So the first 2 games of this season are going to set the tone for what it's all going to be.
And you want to know something, man? They can get on me all they want all summer. I'm giving y'all something to get on me all summer. I'm not worried about Miami.
There you go. I like this. Yeah, I like that. And yeah, you need to go down there and you need to bring your good defense we're used to, and you need that offensive line to be good enough to move people, to take pressure off whoever the quarterback is in the first game in that environment, and all the chaos and all of those swamp people that climb out of the damn rainforest there and come to the game from Miami.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, man, my money is on Carr to be the starting quarterback game 1, but I'm hoping that it be Kenny Minchie, that he step up and he showed them, man, like, this is why I flipped to you all. This is why y'all wanted me to flip from Pitt and take the starting spot, because, man, he could actually give Miami a little bit of, even though, man, Miami had a hard time stopping everybody last year, but he could be the one that, you know, that give you like that Riley Leonard feel, man. I'm not saying that he's like Riley Leonard, but he got a better arm than Riley, but I think he could, you know what I'm saying, he could give you that feel.
Yeah.
He can run the ball. I'm not saying that Carr can't, but I'm just saying that Minchie, I like what I saw out of him last spring when he was in the spring game.
Yeah, it's man, it's going to be really interesting. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot to be excited about. There's some things to worry about. And we're going to see how it goes, my friend. Anything else, my friend? It's good to hear from you again. Thanks for getting back in the mix.
Ain't nothing much, man. Hey, go Irish, man.
Go Irish. Enjoy your weekend, and give me a call next week, man. Have a good one out there. I love that dude. He's the one who's called me more than anybody else. 238 calls on the line. All right, I got time for 2 more quick calls, and I got a date with Mr. Mike Goolsby. So let's see what we get. 419, you're on the line. What's going on?
Oh man, just chilling, Jay, man. How you feeling today, man?
I like the energy today on a Friday, man. It's been a little sleepier for some of these shows in the off season while we're in between. But we had a really good electric energy here today. I like it. I like the vibe.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm getting excited about spring ball coming up, and
And, you know, my thoughts all over the place, but I like where we at as a program. I love where we at as a program.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this. And this was actually the original topic of my episode today that we didn't do because we had so many calls, which I welcome. Happy to call timeout on my notes. That's kind of where I'm at is like, man, it is year 4 and it is there's going to be a lot of pressure applied in a different way than the year 3 Notre Dame pressure. Now it's like, can Notre Dame maintain what they did last year? Was this a flash in the pan, a good coincidence and blend of teams we faced and you succeeded? Can Notre Dame show they have staying power at this level? It's the biggest question of year 4.
Yeah, I feel you on that. The biggest thing they need to get right is the quarterback situation. It's a good situation for us to be in, but it's a bad situation because whatever decision they make is still, I just feel like it's going to be a ripple effect. If you go with Angeli, Mitchell or Carr is going to transfer. If you go with Carr, one of those other two guys are going to transfer. But not too many schools can say they have a good problem like we do. I just really hope they really make the right decision. I think they're going to go with Angeli, with us playing Miami first, and then have a short hook for the backup. It could be Carl or Mitchie. They're going to have to make a solid decision on who's the backup, and they're going to have to make a really solid decision on that. But
man, you know how you're saying like you hope they pick the right guy or whatever. My greatest hope would be you don't have to pick anybody because one guy emerges head and shoulders above the pack and it's so obvious that it really doesn't even need to be talked about. And then one of those guys shines and it's just obvious that they're the leader and they're a step ahead of everyone else. And I don't know if we're going to get that or not, or if that's realistic for me to hope for or not. But in my opinion, that would be the best outcome is one of these dudes is just obviously balling out above the level of the other ones and the decisions made for you. That would be my preference, but I don't know how realistic that's going to be.
Yeah, we have a dynamic going on because Steve's he's been there for a while, but Carr's been there for a while, a couple of years, and it it divides the players up because these are Marcus Freeman's guys. Like this is a young team, and it's just like. I want Marcus Freeman to make the right decision for the team.
Yeah. And then
that's the only thing I'm worried about.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe we're going to have a really good idea of who that starter is going to be after spring ball? Or do you think this is something that's going to linger all through the summer? And then the first couple weeks of August camp are going to be deciding this? Like, I don't know the answer to that either.
Yeah, I don't either.
Man.
I think, I think the players know. I think Marcus Freeman know, but he don't want to pull that trigger for CJ Carr. He don't because he don't have any experience. So
yeah, and you know what?
Freeman,
you bring up a good point. Goolsby brought up the point you did the other day where he said, John, if you went with Angeli as an older guy, it's easier to pull him at some point in the season and put the younger guy in when they're more ready or whatever. But he goes, you really can't do that the other way around. You can't start Carr and he's learning on the fly and has no experience. And then he makes a couple mistakes and you yank him. Like, you just can't do that. It's a different dynamic with an older guy and a younger guy with that part of it. This is just interesting, man. It's a big, big decision.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, man, because we are loaded and we're ready to go to make another run at the national championship.
Ooh,
so it's gonna be hard. Yeah, I just believe in our team. I believe in our program. I believe in the players that we have, at the university, and I just feel good, man.
You know what I believe
in?
Let me tell you what I believe in. I believe in your voice. You need to have voiceover contracts, bro. I like the way you talking. I like that voice you got. You got to come on. You got to be like on a subway announcing the stops. Come on, man. I like that voice, baby.
I appreciate it, John. Man.
Oh.
I'm in the process. I'm in the process of starting my podcast.
Yeah, now you're talking. You got the voice for it, man. You got that voice in the airport. You know, you lost your luggage on Carousel 3. Like, you got the magic pipes, baby.
Yeah, but I love Notre Dame, man. That's my favorite team, and I ride with Notre Dame like to the end, to the wheels fall off. Like, I don't even care about my other sports teams. Notre Dame is number one. My family knows it. My friends knows it. So whenever we lose, I don't have to talk to people for 6 months. As soon as we lose, just like we lost in the championship game, people are blowing my phone up, bothering me.
That's the way it goes, man. They come out of the woodwork, man. They just come out of nowhere, and it all in an effort to raise your blood pressure. Don't let them get to you, man. Let me carry all that load.
Okay, I'm with you, John, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate the therapy, man, that you provide for us.
Oh, no problem, man. No problem.
You know, Irish Nation.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, thanks for joining me on a Friday. Don't be a stranger. Give me a call soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, man.
Got you. You too, man.
Have a good one. Oh, what a nice guy. All right, last call of the day, 574. What's going on?
Hey, John, what's happening, man?
I don't know. What, are you sick? You got some sinus, cold flu action? What are we working with?
I got all kinds of crap going on. This is Phil Haig. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I could tell. But dude, your number does say unknown, and since you're local and it's 574, there's a bunch of those 574s. Sometimes I think I do forget that it's you because there's so many 574s with unknown caller IDs.
You should go in there and start entering people's names under the phone numbers. So that way, every time somebody calls in, you know, all of us in the chat knows who's on the line.
Phil, I think there's a way to do it, but I have not dug into the manual here on the call-in program to do it. I think there is a way. And like half the numbers do have the people's names that are on the account, and then that's obvious who it is, but some of them don't. So I don't know what dictates that. Anyways, I want you to feel better, man. You got to get better before blue and gold. Don't be like me and be sick for a month.
Oh no, I'll be better by then. This is like day 3 now. I went through 3 boxes of Kleenexes at work yesterday, and then I called off work today. So I'm sitting here at home just being miserable by myself.
Yeah, I've been there, man. I've been there, and it's I had a flu that turned into a cold that turned into a sinus infection, and then that turned into everybody here thinking I'm a drug addict, Phil. That's how it's gone around here.
But hey, man, we got the tailgate coming up. You're going to be there. What's the plans on the night before? Are we going to hit up Barnaby's or
Here's the deal. Plan, Here's the deal. My brother gets into Midway Thursday night. Friday morning, him and I are driving to South Bend. We will be there in like middle of the day, 11 and 12 o'clock their time. We are happy to do anything anybody wants. We're going to stay the night. We could hit the town. We could cause some problems. We could cause some trouble. We could get pizza. We could drink pitchers of beer. We could do whatever we want, but I want all the Always Irish people that are in town on Friday to all be able to be together. And then Saturday morning, my parents and everybody else are going to drive up and meet us for the tailgate. That's going to be the plan. So I think we're going to have to figure out where to meet or what we're going to want to do and what time. But I think we just need to get all the Always Irish people together, and we'll just move like a mob and cause trouble all over town.
I like your way of thinking, man. That sounds good. And I know my wife and we can't wait to get up there and see all you guys. I know Angela has been talking to my wife about hooking up too,
I want that pizza
again,
dude. Something. Bro, I want that pizza again so bad. I want that pizza.
I still can't believe you smashed that whole large cheese, man. The last time we were up there, how the hell did you fit that in your tiny toothpick body?
Well, what do you mean? I'm like a lion, dude. I eat one meal every 3 days, but when I eat it, it's a big one. I don't know what to tell you.
Jiminy Christmas. I still can't believe we still talk about that.
Wait a second. Wait a second. That alarmed you that I was able to eat that whole personal pizza? It was just a cheese pizza. That really stood out to you? Are you being serious?
Yes. You're like the size of a toothpick, dude. You have like a 6-inch wide body. Yes.
I don't know, man. I was hungry. Or maybe it's because I drank that Miller Lite and it cranked up my hunger. I don't know.
I don't know what it was, but anyways, hey, is this going to be the last tailgate spring game, or you think they're going to have another blue gold next year?
I would like to think Notre Dame will hold on to that tradition, maybe more than the other people are quick to pull the trigger. Phil, I got to be honest, I still am not sure I completely understand the theory of why they're all dropping them. It's like people are going to tamper with our guys and see a guy play good in the spring game and then go give him NIL money. Like, I'm not incredibly clear on why people are doing that exactly. I don't understand it all.
I don't know either. I know one thing though. If I love these blue gold tailgates because like there's no crowds. I'm getting older. I hate crowds. I hate people.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
It's got
unless it's us. Unless it's our people, I'm totally with you. I'm right. That's how I go through life too. I love crowds when it's our people. That's about it.
Yeah, all our people that I've gotten to be good friends with from our group here that you created. I love our people, but you know, I can't do crowds. I have no patience anymore.
Me too.
So
that's my existence.
Imagine this though. Imagine this. What if they don't do a blue gold tailgate after this year? And I think we should carry on the tradition. No game, we still do a tailgate.
Yeah, if I thought about it, if it ever comes to that, we will set up a weekend to just have all the Notre Dame people come to town, and we'll go out and we'll actually schedule something and make it official and we'll do an Always Irish bar crawl down Eddy Street. I don't give a crap. We'll do something fun.
I think we just set up a big old spot in the middle of the lot in front of Frank Leahy. Then we have Mark with glasses bring in bags of pizza rolls, and we set up one heck of a pizza roll eating contest.
Ooh.
And you know who I think would be the perfect judge for that contest?
Who's that?
Tom Frawley.
Oh, I like that. Chicago's very own. Dude, I'm telling you, them pizza, even I'll eat them pizza roll. You just can't you got to let it cool off so it doesn't burn your lips, your tongue.
Well, you dip them in ranch. It cools it down right away.
Phil, do you think I'm a person that is going to eat ranch? Are you out of your mind? You know me better than that. Get serious. Ranch.
Yes, I know you pretty well, but
ranch.
I'm hoping you expand your horizons, John, and your taste buds, and maybe throw some mushrooms on your pizza one of these days.
What? Hey, I told you, I'm open to doing the mushroom thing, but only if I see leprechauns and unicorns for the next 4 days. That's about it.
Hey, real quick though, before I get off the line, you're going to Florida here soon. You gonna try some oysters?
Absolutely not. It is disgusting whenever I'm in Florida and I'm out on the inlet where all these bars are right up by the water, and they have like what they call like a raw oyster bar. It smells like a sewer, and there's a bunch of old people picking out slimy clams. I don't understand any of it. It reeks. And it's disgusting. Anything else?
Yeah, frogs. What about the half-eaten frogs that land on you? You gonna fry them up, eat some frog legs?
Give me some frog legs. I think the freakiest thing I ate down there was them gator bites. They call them like fried gator bites, and it honestly tastes like chicken meat. I branched out and ate a couple gator bites. Doesn't that count? Give me some credit. Give me some gator credit.
Yeah, I'll give you credit for that.
Thank you.
That's beyond what your normal, chicken nuggets and chicken tenders. So
exactly.
I'll give you credit for that.
Yeah, it really, really is. Oh man, Phil, I love you, buddy. I got to get over to Goolsby at 11 o'clock here. I got 2 minutes. I thank you for calling. I'm sorry you feel like crap. I want you to be better. And Gatorade and rest, my friend. Gatorade and rest. That's my recommendation. That's about all you could do.
All right, man. I'll let you go. I know you got to get over there, but hey, I love you. I love this whole Always Irish crew and everybody that we, our group of people.
Phil, I got to tell you,
seeing you guys.
I got to tell you, Phil. I've told you this before. When I did my first tailgate, your entire family was one of the first groups that ever showed up in that parking lot. The very, very first tailgate that I put on. And I had a little anxiety that nobody would show up or it'd be an embarrassing, amount of people. And we did all this preparation and nobody showed up or whatever. It means the world to me that you and your whole family came there with open hearts, open arms, smiles on your face, contributing to the cause. I love you guys for that. I'll never forget that you were the first group.
That was one of the best things we ever did, man. We had such a good time. We always have a good time hanging out with you guys and all your people that help out with everything you do. And Craig and his daughter got to hang out with us at the girls' basketball game Sunday. We had a hell of a time, man. It was a lot of fun up there hanging
Phil,
out with them.
It's awesome. It's awesome how all of our people are connecting with other people and forming their own friendships. That's really like underneath all the football stuff. Like that's what it's about, is the people. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing what this whole thing has turned into as far as the network and the people, man. So I love you guys, and tell your wife and daughter and the in-laws and everybody else I said I hope you feel better, Phil. Lay around, drink some Gatorade, bro.
All right, man. I'll let you go. Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem. Have a good one. Feel better. All right, guys. I'm going to get over with Goolsby. It's 11 o'clock. I don't want to be late. A lot of energy today. Thanks for the donations. Thanks for the chats. We had full call-in lines on a Friday in the off season. Thank you guys for the energy. I really love it. I appreciate it. This was great. Everybody have a good weekend. Have a good one. We'll see you on Patreon.